Hey there. I understand you might have a stressful speaking engagement coming up. Maybe you've got a big presentation, you might even be defending a thesis, or you're trying to speak up more in seminar, or you've got a challenging conversation with your boss, with a family member, with a romantic partner. It's something that's got you concerned. And as you approach this moment, you might be feeling your heart racing a bit. You might be feeling your chest or your breath tightening. Maybe you're getting a little dizzy or wobbly. Maybe your brain's getting a bit fuzzy. So it's like in that moment when you most need those eloquent words and persuasive insights, they've just like flown the coop. So you're thinking, okay, what the heck am I going to do, right? You might feel like just leaving. You might feel like shrinking. Maybe you start to feel angry with these people. Like, who are they to ask you to have to speak in this way? Or maybe even worse, you turn that anger on yourself. Well, I want to let you know that all of those responses are perfectly natural. Our bodies have evolved to respond to stress with either fight, flight, or freeze. Sometimes there are a few other responses that sneak in there, but those are the basics, right? So your system is operating as it has evolved to do. Okay, so what do we do with that? Well, the work that I do is called playful mindfulness, and that work is designed to get you feeling engaged and present so you feel more calm and confident and connected. And so you can find your gifts and share them more freely with the world. So you can be who you really are. Ideally, you're stepping more into the present moment. You're releasing some of that anxiety you're feeling, and you're activating a different kind of biochemistry that helps you more than hinders you. Right? Ultimately, it's stepping out of that stress and into your power. So here we go. Let's do this, right? One thing I want to mention, however, before I give you these 3 exercises is that I want to encourage you to follow along and participate with me. So this work you're doing, this thing you got to get into, is not going to be a spectator sport. So let's not do a spectator sport now either. Let's have you participate. You are the hero in this story. So here we go. The first exercise is one we call a dot B. Dot like a period, and B like the letter B. That's a little b. And this comes from the work of a group called the Mindfulness in Schools Project. They're based in the United Kingdom, and they teach mindfulness skills to teachers who teach them to high school students. Even high school students need to know a bit of mindfulness too. But it's a really simple exercise. And it goes like this. In any given moment, you simply pause. Whatever you're doing, you pause. Then you feel your feet. You can rock back and forward from your heels to your toes if you want. You can sort of flex your feet a little bit. You don't have to, but you sense your feet in contact with the floor or the ground, feeling the feet. Doesn't have to be anything interesting. Maybe there's no sensation, but you're doing your best to feel the feet. So there's a pause, feeling the feet. The next step in the dot B is feeling the breathing. Maybe you can feel it in the belly. Maybe you feel it in the chest. Maybe you're aware of air moving past the nostrils or out, in or out of the mouth. Again, there's no agenda. You don't have to do a special breath. If you want, you can do a breath where you take a little bit longer to exhale than when you inhale, but you don't need to, right? So we've paused, feeling the feet, feeling the breathing. And the last part of the dot B is to take a moment just to be. That's the B part of the dot B. So maybe you tune in internally. You close your eyes. How's your heart feeling? How's your breath doing? Maybe the taking a moment just to be is to look around, and you might see something in your environment. I like to look for something that I haven't ever noticed before. Like, oh, there's a particular stain on the window over here, or there's a particular fleck of light on the wall that I'm seeing. So the dot B, pause, feel the feet, feel the breathing, take a moment just to be. All right, now that you know how it works, let's see if we can try it out. So I want you to imagine that you are in a stressful situation. Let's say that you're late for work and you're late for a meeting with your supervisor. Okay, so you have got to move quickly, move quickly, move quickly, move quickly, and you're thinking about all the things, the problems they're going to have if you don't get to this meeting, and then we just take a moment to just pause. Let's do a dot B. Feeling the feet, feeling the breathing. Taking a moment to just be. And there we are. It's just a pocket exercise, 15 seconds. Nobody needs to know you're doing it. It's a stealth mindfulness practice. The reason this works is it asks us to put our attention on the present moment. When we pay attention to the sensations in our feet, or we pay attention to our breathing, we are tuning into the sensing mind. The sensing mind is here and now. We can't be in the sensing mind and the thinking mind at the same time. The thinking mind is judging, planning, evaluating, telling stories about the future, all the trouble we're going to be in if we don't do well. And all that anxiety is the thinking mind. So we purposely put ourselves into the sensing mind, the thinking mind quiets, and we're more present for what we need to do. That's the dot B. Okay, let's do exercise number 2. This one comes from the world of improvisational theater. Can you imagine getting ready to step on stage when you have no idea what the topic's going to be, what your lines are going to be, who your character is going to be, when you need to leave, when the lights are going to come down? It can be really exciting. It can also be really stressful. So this is a short little exercise that many improvisers use before a show to get themselves set to go. It's called the shakeout. It's pretty simple, but again, I'm going to encourage you to do this along with me. So the first thing we're going to do, we're going to hold up our right hand and we're going to shake it out 8 times and count to 8. Okay, so here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to do the same thing with our left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Make sure you're counting with me here, okay? Right foot, we're going to shake that out. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Left foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here's my favorite part. We're going to do 8 wiggles. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. We're going to do the same thing now with 6, a little bit faster. So, right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep counting. Left foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wiggles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going down to 4 a little bit quicker. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. On to 2, even quicker. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Down to 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. All right, well done. That's the shakeout. You might be a little out of breath right now. Whew. That's okay. It'll come back. The reason the shakeout works is it's a way to release the adrenaline that we have built up from our stress. If you think about a zebra on the savannah that's just been chased by a lion and escaped the clutches of the mighty lion, oftentimes when that zebra has gotten away and gotten to a safe spot, a safe distance from the lion, you'll see it just shake itself out. Again, it is a way to release that adrenaline. Our bodies have evolved to clear that stuff out by shaking. Sometimes when we have trauma, if you're in a car accident or you get really bad news, you'll shake, right? That's the same system. So here we're kind of jump starting the release of those emotions and that adrenaline by choosing to shake and getting ourselves free of that tension. So that's exercise number 2. Okay, for our third exercise, we're going to do something called the power pose. This comes from the research of a woman named Amy Cuddy, who teaches social psychology at Harvard University. She talks about the benefit of taking up space. So I'm going to encourage us to actually do this, and then I'll explain it as we go through it, as we're doing it, because it takes a couple minutes. So I'm going to encourage you to take a pose that takes up space, to have your feet be a little bit wider than your hips, a nice wide stance, a solid stance, and maybe you put your hands on your hips like this. The chest is kind of proud. Maybe you put your arms out like this so you're taking up full space, right? But it could be like a superhero pose, like I'm here, right? You don't have to have a look of seriousness and determination on your face, but you could if you want to. But we're just taking up some space, okay? And let's keep doing this as I explain. So Amy Cuddy's research showed that when we take up little space, when we close in on ourselves, that our testosterone levels drop and our cortisol levels go up. Testosterone is a hormone that we all have. It's the one that helps us in stressful situations know what to do, make the right choice, gear up for action. Cortisol is a hormone that we feel when we're stressed, and when it's elevated, we feel more stressed. So that's a pose that takes up little space. When we are taking up more space, as we are doing now, our testosterone levels go up and our cortisol levels go down. So we are more equipped to perform in a time of stress, and we feel less stressed about the situation. So here you are. You've been standing in a power pose now for a while. Note that you might not want to stand in this pose when you are actually doing the thing you are looking to do. You might not want to stand up in your seminar and say, I've got a point to make. But if you can take this pose beforehand, maybe go into the bathroom for a couple minutes and just stand in front of the mirror, take up space, that you will have this biochemical response and you will start to feel more elevated and more able to handle the stressful situation you're about to walk into. So there you are. You've got 3 short, simple activities you can do next time you're facing that higher stress speaking situation. You can do a .B, pause, feel your feet, feel your breathing, and take a moment just to be. You can choose to shake it out. Get yourself freed of all that adrenaline and stress and come back to that steady resourcefulness of executive function. Or third, you can strike a power pose. Take up some space, take a couple minutes to take up some space so you can raise this testosterone levels, lower the cortisol levels, get your biochemistry in line with what it is you're setting out to do. Do all 3 beforehand and you'll be stepping into the fullness of your resources. You'll be raring to go. I hope you can try them out because I know that you've got awesome gifts to share with the world. I know that your words matter and I know that you matter. So try out the .B, try out the shakeout, try out the power pose. Enjoy the results.